Today is day 4 of the Brian Walshe trial. I'm going to give you my daily recap. We had 2 rulings from Judge Frenier before the jury came in. The first was that she is not going to sentence Brian Walshe on the 2 charges in this case that he had pled guilty to until the verdict is reached in the murder. So we won't hear from that. And she also said she's going to let the text messages in between Anna Walshe and William Fastow. She read a statement that included the defendant's own words saying that Thomas was put to bed and that time could be corroborated with when Anna sent William Fastow an image. He had said that to investigators. So I guess she had sent some pictures to William Fastow of their evening that they were having at the house on New Year's Eve. And apparently her iMessenger or iMessages or Facebook Messenger or something was being sent to Brian's iPad, and he did see that there were text messages between them and that they were making plans for the future. The first person on the stand is William Fastow, and he is a real estate broker who lives in the DC, Maryland area. He is the agent that sold the home to Anna and Brian Walshe, and he says that their relationship began friendly. He communicated frequently with Anna and with Brian, and then it moved into an intimate relationship with Anna. At the time when they met, he was separated from his wife. He does have 2 boys of his own with her, so they confided in each other a lot about the struggles of Anna wanting to move to DC and him going through his divorce and whatnot. We also learned that he and Anna went together to Dublin, Ireland for Thanksgiving, and that was the beginning of her trip to Belgrade, Serbia, where she visited her mother, and she was gone from the kids for an extended period of time. They also spent Christmas Eve together, which sounds crazy for me as a mom. She has 3 kids that live in Cohasset, and her flight the next day was canceled or she missed it, and so then she ended up having to drive a car all the way back to Massachusetts, and so she missed Christmas Eve and the majority of Christmas Day. She did tell William that her and Brian got into an argument over this. The last text message he has from Anna is on New Year's Eve, and it was them saying Happy New Year's to each other around midnight on East Coast time. He was in Idaho with his family. He had plans to return from Idaho and go out to dinner with her on January 4th, and that's when they were going to celebrate the New Year's. They were going to do something where they talked about their 1, 3, and 5-year goals. He learned that she was missing because he had sent her a bunch of text messages and called her, and she wasn't responding. It would go straight to voicemail, and then Brian called him actually on January 4th. He sent that call to voicemail, and Brian didn't leave a voicemail, so Brian called again. That one went to voicemail too, and at that point Brian does leave a voicemail, and it's played for the courtroom and entered into evidence. Brian sounds pretty cool on the voicemail. He says, "Hey, Anna hasn't been in touch for a few days, just wondering if you've spoken to her." And that is when William gets concerned, and he calls Brian back to see what's going on with Anna. He says that he would be happy to go over to the townhouse and check for her, and he goes over to the townhome 1 to 2 times that day and is not able to find her. He also mentions that she drives a Volkswagen. We saw yesterday there were Volkswagen keys that were thrown away in the dumpster with her belongings. He also says that the necklace that she wears is a Gucci necklace. Yes, and then a Cartier watch, and I think we find both of those in the trash as well. Before we go to the morning break, we get some of the cross-examination of William Fastow, and he is asked quite a bit about their relationship when it became intimate. He said it was shortly after she moved to Washington, D.C., and they had no plan to tell Brian about this. He said that it was very important to Anna and her integrity that if Brian were to find out, that it would be from her, but Anna had never told William that she was going to tell Brian. They would go out as a couple in the DC area, but they never hung out with any of Brian Walshe's friends together. They did have a couple mutual friends. Jem Mutlu, who is the guy that was there on New Year's Eve, also didn't know about their romantic relationship. William Fastow also says that he deletes some of the personal text messages between him and Anna because he's embarrassed, not because he's trying to hide anything, but he did turn over pages of the text messages to police between him and Anna. The next witness that we have is a painter in the area who randomly is cold calling people that he used to do work for in the past, and he calls Brian Walshe. Brian ends up texting him and calling him back and saying that he has a hole in his ceiling. Is this something he could repair? And we see pictures of a picture of this gentleman's phone, who's the painter, and this is the hole in the ceiling. And these were done on Friday, January 6th. So at this point, Anna has already been reported missing. On the 4th, she was reported missing, and his concern is to fix the hole in the ceiling. I thought we were done with the ceiling hole. I thought that was just like, oh, there was nothing found on the piece of the ceiling that was in the drawer, so, and the police didn't take that, so there's nothing there. But I'm really curious, very curious to know where the hole in the ceiling is going. The next two witnesses are people from Bar Method, and that is where Anna Walshe worked out the morning of New Year's Eve. They both testified that she was in great shape, no health issues, and didn't need any modifications or anything. This witness was actually kind of interesting. Her name's Janet Cotter. She had an interaction with Anna at the nail salon on New Year's Eve. They were getting pedicures side by side, and she said she spoke with Anna for a little bit, and Anna was very excited because on New Year's Day, they had a dinner scheduled, just Brian and her, and it was in Marblehead. So this means that Anna did not have plans to go to DC when she was at the nail salon on New Year's Eve. In between, there are a couple other witnesses. One is the woman that's in charge of the kinder care in Norwell, where the children went, and he did drop off the boys most days around 9 a.m. She testified that he dropped off the boys on January 3rd and 4th, and she kind of remembers that he was in a rush those days. I forgot to write down her name, but then we have the head of the apartment complex in Abington. So there were some searches done by Brian Walshe about apartments, and I thought he was searching to move somewhere, but he was actually searching for these on Zillow and whatnot, because apparently he was looking for dumpsters. It's called the Claremont. It had surveillance video, they had dumpsters, they had 4 cameras on property, and we have a video from January 3rd of his vehicle there, and we watch a video of him putting things in the dumpster. You can vaguely see him here, and that's the dumpster. And then you see his Volvo XC90 backing away. She says there were no tenants at the time that owned that vehicle that lived there, and she is certain of that. I had a bunch of errands to run, but the remainder of the day I was listening on the go a little bit, and Connor Keefe was the witness for the remainder of the day. He's a trooper from the Mass State Police. Long story short, with Connor Keefe, he is the one who downloaded and extracted all of the digital forensic evidence from the iPhone 13 mini, the iPhone SE, the iPad 6, and the iPad 6 mini. He analyzed the data on all of these devices from Christmas Day to January 6th. Prosecutor Connor, goes over for a long time pictures like this where the iPhone SE and the iPhone 13 could be tracked over the course of the days around January 2nd, 1st, and I think all the way into the 3rd and the 5th. A lot of these images corroborate exactly what he told in an interview with police officers, but he left out a few things, of course. He went to Lowe's January 1st at 5:41 p.m. And then he went to Stop and Shop in Swampscott at 8:31 p.m. He was back home. And then on January 2nd, he started moving around 8:30. He is found in the Home Goods and TJ Maxx parking lot, the Stop and Shop parking lot, and then also at 6:13 p.m. the Shaw parking lot. So he's also tracked by his phone to the Claremont apartments that we saw the surveillance footage on January 2nd and January 3rd. And then he is tracked on January 5th to the trash receptacles at his mom's apartment complex. Connor Keefe also testified that on Christmas Day, Brian Walshe searched for William Fastow DC real estate and Christmas Day plane crash, and Anna Walshe found dead, I believe on his laptop. And that is the end of day 4. I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 5. It's supposed to be a half day, I'm pretty sure.